guys and gals, and welcome back once again to the D4A channel. Now the last two videos that I have published on my channel have actually been scheduled videos. I worked hard and made them 2 weeks ahead, and then scheduled their publishing for later dates. Now why have I done that is because, like all normal people, I need to go to a vacation from time to time. And I went to a 2-week vacation to Thailand. Now here's a 10-second montage of that vacation. But because this is a car channel and not a travel and tourism channel, I won't talk about that vacation that much anymore. If you want to see the full montage video, there's a link in the description to a little channel I have, mostly for personal use, and you can see that in case you're interested. But what I will talk about in Thailand is something that's really cool and really fun for anyone who's a car guy or a mechanics inclined person or whatever. So what it is something they have in Thailand, and it's called long tail boats. Now what's a long tail boat? A long tail boat is a long, narrow wooden boat with a car or a truck engine stuck at the end. Now what they do is honestly pretty ingenious, because I guess real new boat engines are expensive. They actually go to a junkyard and they pick up a used car or truck engine, and then they stuck it on sort of a like a pivoting base, which then the driver of the boat he actually moves the entire engine around and operates the boat in that way. So how it also works is that at the end they remove the clutch and everything else, and they just put the whole bell housing of the transmission, and they put it the rest actually of the transmission on the engine. And at the end of the transmission there's no drive shaft coming out, there's just a very long shaft, and at the end of the shaft there's a propeller. Now these long tail boats are actually also operated in very tiny narrow spaces, and sometimes you're sitting in a boat and there's like a propeller on a shaft coming this close to you, to your head, because somebody's trying to maneuver their boat out of the tight space next to your boat. So what's also cool about these things is that they're super loud. Because of course, the whole exhaust system of a car needs to get removed, and they make, this little exhaust manifold with a tiny little short pipe at the end. So you have a car or truck engine passing by you, and all conversation stops because they're extremely loud. Now for most tourists, these long-tail boats are actually an annoyance because they're so loud, and everybody makes these weird faces when they pass by. But for me, as a car guy, they were actually huge fun because they're everywhere. They're on every river, they're on the sea, and the variety of engines that's on these long-tail boats is amazing. They have everything from tiny, 3-cylinder engines to, bigger engines to turbo engines, and there's all the, the main Japanese brands. They have Toyota engines, Honda engines, Mazda. I even saw Isuzu turbo pickup truck engines. There's a lot of them, and some of them are, engines in bad shape, and some even actually you see that the owner of the, long-tail boat was proud of the engine, and they cleaned the engine and they, polished the parts. It was huge fun, and you're all the time you're noticing the engines, and you're trying to tell from which car this came from. Now of course most of the engines are actually kind of boring econobox 4-cylinder engines, single overhead cam and things like that. But what I did manage to notice was when I was on this folding market, which is actually a bunch of these boats, and they're moving. Some of them are just paddle power, and some of them are long tail boats, but you're being driven on a boat and people are selling things on other boats, and so you're driving around in a boat and buying things from the neighboring boats, which is fun. But what was even more fun for me is that as I was being driven around in that boat, next to me a boat passed, and the engine that was on that boat was a 4AG engine, just like in my MR2. Now of course that meant nothing to anyone, but I was there sitting on that boat and I saw the 4AG, and all I managed to do was grab my camera quickly, power it on, and take 3 photos. These 3 photos. Now when I saw the 4AG, I was all, giddy and screaming like a little cheerleader, and nobody, figured out what was going on. Everybody was looking around. Why is this person so exciting? There's nothing special happening. And my wife was also there, with a face like this, and I was screaming at the 4AG that nobody cares about, and the boat passed, and I eventually calmed down, and it remained a huge mystery for all the other tourists. But it was huge fun for me, because actually, out of all the variety of the boats, I think the odds of me seeing a 4AG on a long-tail boat in Thailand weren't that big, because I saw, I think about maybe 150 or maybe even 200 of these boats. There's a lot of them. You cannot believe how many of them there are. And one of them had a 4AG on it. That's the whole story. I don't know if this is amazing for you as it is for me, but it was huge fun for me, and I wanted to share that with you guys, the story about the 4AG on a long-tail boat. So that's it. I know this is going to be like a really short video, but I guess, it's something fun and it's something I wanted to share. Now, what I also made this video is what I want to say is all of my parts for my bike carb conversion have also arrived. So in the following period, there's going to be a lot of unboxing videos, and I'm going to be making them really quickly. So we're going to have like 2 or maybe even 3 videos, in the following 1 or 2 weeks. So definitely stay tuned for that. It's going to be fun, and I'm going to start working, really hard and intensively on the bike carb conversion, to complete it as soon as possible, and get driving that, MR2. So I guess that's all for today. I know it's nothing really, there's no progress. It's just a little story from my vacation, but I hope it was fun for you as it was for me. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned to the D4A channel for new upcoming super cool videos. D4A out.